I recently read a study that said on average, a reusable water bottle can be 40,000 times more dirty than a toilet seat. Now with that horrifying information in mind, let me show you how to perfectly clean your Stanley cup or really any reusable water bottle. So the first thing I like to do is completely disassemble the cup here. So we're gonna just remove the lid. Now for whatever reason with these Stanleys, there is a lot of nooks and crannies where mold and mildew like to grow. So for the lid itself, you'll turn it over, you notice these two little prongs here, just squeeze those in and this will pop right out like so. And as you can see, this is an area underneath here and even there where kind of moisture gets trapped. Now for the little rubber guy here in the center, just gonna take your finger, push this through, and then you'll be able to grab it on the other side, just gently pop out the center, and then this side will easily pop out as well. Again, another area where moisture can get underneath there. It's really important to completely remove that. Now, the one thing I do notice that people miss quite often is you'll notice the rubber seal on the lid here, and these can be kind of tricky to remove. I really don't like using anything pokey or pointy just because you can rip or tear them pretty easily. So the quick hack for this is just to take your two fingers, start along the edge there and kind of squeeze, if I can do this right. And you'll notice it kind of pops up like that. And then you can grab it with your other hand, just easily pop off the seal. So now that everything has been disassembled, it's finally time to start cleaning. Now, you might be thinking, Brandon, I read on the label when I bought it, it's dishwasher safe. I just take it apart, throw it in the dishwasher, and you're done. Now, you can definitely do that. However, take it from someone who's washed a ton of water bottles over the years. I just don't love to use the dishwasher. Few reasons being is number one, I feel like anytime I put in a double-walled insulated cup into the dishwasher repeatedly over a certain amount of time, the cup just never is the same. Number two, as you can see from taking it apart, there is a lot of moving pieces here, a lot of them plastic and rubber, and I feel like when you put them into the dishwasher, you always run the risk of them coming loose, getting close to the heating element and melting. Plus, I've noticed that sometimes these can chip if they go in the dishwasher a lot too, and this is an expensive cup. You don't want to damage it. And the third reason is a little selfish for me, but maybe you're like me too, is that I love to put stickers on my cup over time, and if I put that in the dishwasher, it would ruin it. So instead, I like to use dental cleaning tablets. So what you'll need is 1 pack of the tablets here, a glass bowl, and some warm water. Now what I do is just simply place all of the removable parts in the glass bowl. Here, just make sure everything is going to be able to get submerged. I put the little rubber guy on the bottom. Perfect. And then we're gonna take the dental tablet, I'm gonna open it up here. Now, what I like to use is actually half. So I'll break it in half. Oh, perfect. So then I'll use one for here and then one for the cup. So just simply add some warm water to the bowl, making sure everything is nice and submerged underneath the water. Once that's all set, drop in the tablet and watch it go to work. Now for the cup, do the same thing, just fill it with some warm water all the way to the top. Now I will say this does foam up a little bit, so just be mindful so it doesn't overflow. I like to go kind of right up to as close to the edge as possible so all the cleaner can get to where it needs to be. Then just take the other half of the dental tablet, and drop it in and let it go. So now I like to let the cleaner sit in here for about 5 to 10 minutes and do its thing. And while we wait for that, let's go clean the straw. So the straw is pretty easy. I just use a handy dandy straw cleaner and just give it a quick spray, just a little Dawn power wash, and then come through, just work that in, give everything a good scrub. Usually they're not quite long enough to go all the way to the end, so then just pull it out, flip it to the other end here, just give it a real good scrub. Usually I'll let this sit for a couple minutes, kind of do its thing, and then completely give it a good rinse. The last thing you want is to leave any soap residue in your straw, and then you taste soap. Now, a few more things I absolutely love about the dental tablets is that number one, they don't leave any sort of soapy residue behind or soapy taste after you've cleaned your cup. The other thing that's really nice too is they also kill any sort of bacteria that could be causing a stink or an odor. There's also nothing worse than going to grab a clean cup and it's stinky. If you've experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they're just really cheap. You can get a box of these on Amazon. I think it comes down to like 5 cents per little tablet. Or you can even go to your local dollar store and get a pack of 20, I think it is, for $1. Now, another thing about using dental tablets opposed to the dishwasher is that using a tablet here takes maybe 5-10 minutes to completely clean your cup, whereas the dishwasher cycle can maybe last 2 hours. And let's be real, that's just a long time without your emotional support cup. So once the time is up, I just come over to the sink and give everything a good rinse. Now for the outside of the cup itself, I just grab a scrub mommy, give it about a mustache amount here, and then just go through and just scrub the entire outside. The next step then is just to get everything completely dry. And this is really an important step just because you spent a bunch of time cleaning the entire cup, and the last thing you want to do is put it together and maybe one of these smaller parts here are still wet, and then mold or bacteria or anything can start to grow. So I usually just kind of give them a wipe down with a towel here, the best I can, kind of get as much of that moisture that's on the surface. And then I'll just kind of let them sit on a drying rack for about 20 to 30 minutes, just again to ensure that there's no moisture left behind. So now that the cup is perfectly clean and dry, it's time to put it back together. Now there's just a few things to look out for. You'll notice there's a flat side on this rubber seal and then the flat side of the lid here. You wanna make sure both of those meet up. So you just kind of wrap it around here and then just gently stretch it out, making sure you're not gonna break it or anything. And then just set that seal right along the edge. I like to kind of just go along here and make sure it's all flat. Otherwise, if not, it could cause a little bit of a leak. Now, when it comes to the slider portion here in this little rubber piece, what I like to do is start by taking the one end without the straw hole. I'll kind of just work that in there, and then you can kind of squeeze in the other side like so. Once you kind of get enough back to the bottom, kind of looks like a taco there, just pull out each sides. Pop it in, there you go, pop in the center, and then just repeat those same steps here on the straw side. Straw side's a little bit easier just because there's not as much rubber there. You gotta pop it through. There you go, and then we just take this, squeeze in those 2 little tablets, pop it in, and you're all set. So there you have it, your Stanley is nice and perfectly clean, and hopefully no longer as dirty as a toilet seat. I still can't get that fact out of my head. Thanks so much for watching. I want to give a huge shout out to the Clean Squad members over on Patreon. If you want to learn more about the Patreon and all the fun we're having over there, definitely check the link down in the description, and we'll see you on the next clean.